Satani ndiwe mukuru wenema asika mukore rino wakairasa shamwari. Satani ndiwe mukuru wenema asika mukore rino wakairasa shamwari. Satani ndiwe baba wenema asika mukore rino wakairasa shamwari. Satani ndiwe baba vendema asika mukore rino wakairasa shamwari. Wakanditorera mfaro wangu, simba rangu, wakanditorera uvumi wangu Satani. Wakanditorera mfaro wangu, simba rangu, wakanditorera uvumi wangu Satani. Enough is enough. This is my end. This is my end. This is my season. This is my moment. This is my end. This is my end. This is my season. This is my moment. This is my end. Ndaramba ini korerino nderangu kokuchema ndaramba korerino nderangu ana misodzi ndairamba korerino nderangu kufa ndaramba ka korerino nderangu ana kufirwa ndaramba ini korerino nderangu kokutambura ndaramba korerino nderangu kutambudzika ndaramba ini korerino nderangu.
Hello, Moroi, Salibonani, Kumatirimana Enika. I want to greet you all and welcome you to another talk show with Uncle Julius, with me, Wenyunda Wana, in the hot seat, and I am so excited about our guest today. Someone who is not only a brother, he's my mentor, and ndakavakumbira kuti ndokumbura umuye mumbotipawo knowledge. So invite your friends, invite your family, share this broadcast, and make sure you give us a like, make sure you give us, a comment. Let us know where you're watching us from. We really can't wait to see you. Okay, so I'll start with the comments before I greet our esteemed guest, who is also my big brother. Hanzina Shumbakadi, hello. So hello Shumbakadi. Hanzina Ruarashe, hello Uncle Kurova. Uncle vakandipa chimuti sakandini diripa nyanga nasi. But welcome, Ruarashi. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And then shkanzinatonga kule avapo ndini tete rachunari pano saka mongo ndi manager. Anyway, without further ado, mkoma wangu Nyasha Mapfeka makadi zvenyu.
It's good to be here today.
Hi, Watiribo. Thank you so much. You're welcome here, Mkoma wangu. Please feel free to speak whichever language you want. Pano takasununguka. Vamwe Mkoma wangu vakatundipa platform shkanzi wewe. Nechishanu, this is your platform. So I just appreciate you honoring my invite, my big brother. But as I said, please, by all means, speak whichever language works for you.
Thank you so much. I'll try just to adjust my volume. I'm not sure if I'm coming out really clear because I can't quite hear you. So let me check if I can adjust something. I'm not sure what, but
okay. Yeah, adjust the volume.
Yeah, let me just see if I can try to adjust and see what's happening.
Perfect.
Okay.
Hello, Mamandi Maputi. Hello, all watching from Essex. Thank you so much. Watching from Essex, this is definitely the platform for you to get some real good knowledge today. Hi, Uncle Isha Goods. Thank you. Watching from Colchester. I appreciate you joining us from Colchester, Essex. Saka mimi murukuona from Essex ka. Ichi ndo chirongwa chenyu chanasi china mukoma Nyasha Mapfeka vachange vechingotiudzawo zvinhu zvakakosha for us kuti tizive isusu vari kudiaspora especially, but even people in Zimbabwe, you know, around the world, they definitely can benefit from today's session. So whilst Mr. Mapfeka is sorting out his sound, I'm just going to give a recap of what we discussed last week. I'm running a segment called Ramangwana, Rako, Ikusasa, Yakho, Your Tomorrow. And in these segments, it's just about talking about important matters that help us, especially the Zimbabwean and African community in diaspora, things like funeral cover. So last week we had Sarah from Nyaradzo, and she was talking to us about SIP, Sawira International Plan, and she was telling us the benefits of having SIP. And I hope you guys took me up on my challenge and contacted Sarah just for a quotation. Saka, today we are more based around UK residents, and Mkoma wangu is going to tell us a bit more about what he does, his role, and I'll be asking him questions as we go along. And I hope you too, comment section, kana mne mibvunzo, muva bvunze, Mkoma Nyasha, but phone number yabo ipa screen apo, munogona kuva WhatsApp as well. My only request and my only challenge is get in touch for a quote. It's a no obligation quote. Mkoma wangu, am I correct? No obligation means no obligation. Am I lying?
If you can hear me clearly, then that's fine. But I'm struggling to hear some of your questions. That's the problem.
Oh dear.
So I can't hear you fully, but you guys can hear me clearly.
We can hear you clearly, 100%. Do you want to switch off your device and switch it on again? Muda kudzima mo switch it on futhi.
Oh, let me try log in with a different phone, because still
no problem.
I can barely hear you. You're like really very faint. I've tried to increase my volume. It's not working. But if you can hear me, then maybe let me just try to log in with another phone. Check if it's on my side.
Okay. Audience, murukundinzwawo here very clearly. Audience, can you hear me? If the audience can hear me clearly, let me know, because it might be me who's having the issue. Let me know, can you hear me clearly or not? So whilst we're waiting for Mr. Mapfeka, I'll show you a flyer about what are the products and services that he covers as a protection advisor. Tiri diaspora, as I said, tinenge tichi atizikumba. Tiri kunyika dzevamwe vanhu, ende zvakakosha kuti tive protected. protect ourselves with funeral covers. If you were to pass away today, how will you be buried? What will be the burial arrangements? We have to put those things in consideration. But now, for some of us that live in the United Kingdom and most European countries, there's something that I noticed, which I'm sure my brother will touch on later on, where when I went to school, and my colleagues or my classmates, when they finished, straight away they would buy a flat or a house. Inini, I couldn't. And it really baffled me. How come others are now on the property ladder when I wasn't? Later on, the more I read books or listened to my seminars, I learned about something called generational wealth. Generational wealth, even the Bible talks about it. You know, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children. Kuti iwe paunofa, uri kusiyira vana vako chii? That's when I started putting two and two together and showing out my colleagues who, when they finish school, they can now buy a flat or a house was because they would have inherited from their nan, their granddad, their uncle, their aunties who would have what? Ma policy aya. Sakaisusu, in our community, we need to start taking these policies so that the day we die, and death happens to all of us, what you leave for the loved ones behind, especially your children, is good for them. It gives them a stepping stone, you know, rather than, hey, tinoita go fund that tinotopa ma go fund eku repatriate a body yako back to Zimbabwe. But what happens once that session is over of your life? Takudzosera chituna Zimbabwe. Vana vako are left starting from zero, and things are getting more and more difficult. But anyway, I shall not preach. This is about my brother. Saka Mapfeka, ndinokuchingamidza nchiti mauya.
Thank you. Tinofara chaizvo kuti ndiri pano nhasi. And I'm so happy and so excited to really to be honored to be called to this platform. Dawana, I've been following you for years, and I'm so glad. And I didn't know this was the other side of you. This is the other talents, many talents that you have, that we are here today. But anyway, ndikufara chaizvo kuti nhasi tiri pano tikukurukura tichiona kuti remangwana redu riri sei. Chatinoziva ndechekuti remangwana is guaranteed, tomorrow is guaranteed, but what is it that we do in order to have a better tomorrow, not only for us, but also for the future generations. Majita.
Maita Basa. So, Mkoma Wangu, can you please tell the audience what you do as an advisor?
Okay. Right. As an advisor, I help individuals to look at different aspects of their life where the risks are. We do a risk assessment, and that will help me then to recommend, if not, help you make a decision on how best you can protect yourself or take away or pass on the risk to someone else and not yourself. So basically, we look at zvakasiyana-siyana muupenyu. Zvimwe zvacho zvinoenderana neutano, zvimwe zvinoenderana nemari, kuti mari yaunotambira, how well do you secure it. Zvimwe zvacho zvinoenderana nekuti when I'm no longer here, chii chinosara chichiitika. So we look at all those things in fullness. Tatarisa across the whole market, we'll be able then kuti tichibatsirana kuti, okay, nezvatiri kuona nezviripo, which one is best, which is the best company that will take that risk away from you. So it's tinotarisira zvinhu zvakaita ma-life insurances, zvakaita ma-mortgage, things that will be burden when you are no longer there. We look at kuti ukarwara, critical illness, what happens? Maybe une accident yawaita, what is going to happen? Because we are one business, like we also put in 2021, businesses, we also look at how can we protect such for such times. How do you plan for that? So we also look at different companies. We look at you as an individual. What are your last wishes? So we look at will. Which are distribute kwa say sekuda kwako kwete sekuda kwedu edana ba mimi Francis tinenge tiri paside. when you are going takumhanya kuti tozviita sei. So zvese izvozvo tinokwanisa kuti titarise tichiverenga pamwe chete tichibatsirana todatsoona kuti zviri nani kwatiri ndezve.
Fantastic. Saka mukoma wangu ndisati ndanyasopinda muma-questions ari deep, ndoda kunzwisisa, what are the issues within our community that make us not take these policies?
Right. Chekutanga ndechekuti pane kutaura kwatinoita, regai nditi mumasendrai, patinosangana tichitaurirana zvisina kunatsonzwisisa, kwekufunga kuti insurance is not necessary.
Yeah.
Ndo chekutanga. Chechipiri ndechekuti tinotarisa toita fanike tiri kuwesta nekuti hausi kuona the immediate benefit. So patinotarisa vazhinji vanoti hazvina immediate benefit kwandiri. So ndozviitirei, ndo chinhu 1 chandakaona. Chechipiri tinobatikana nekuigwa 6 feet inotibata maningi. Ukatarisa tobva tanzwisa tsitsi, tobva taziva kuti ndoda kudzika ndiri mukasiketi ndichiunganirwa ndichidini. Ndo zvatinotarisa izvozvo. Tozoona kuti tiri kukanganwa kuziva kuti mushure me6 feet kune zvimwe zvatoda kugadzirisa zvekare. So wakawanda wandotaura navo vanobatikana nepe kungosvika parufu chete. Rufu rwangu kugara zvakanaka, zvimwe zvese hazvisina basa. Ndo zvandinoda kusangana nazvo.
No, fantastic. Audience, vanhu vari mucomment section tiudzei kuti kana usina policy, why do you not have a policy? Or maybe what are the reasons dzaunonzwa from people? Let's not bait ourselves up. What are the reasons you think kuti community yedu haina ma-policy? We want to hear from you guys. Toda honesty. Tiri pa community panapa ndepa Uncle Juju. Inini ndini tete ndawana vachona. Saka ngatitaure nhasi ndine mukoma wangu mukoma Nyasha. Vagotibatsira because these things, they benefit the next generation. Inonzi generational wealth. Okay, mukoma wangu regai ndikuverengere ma-comment. Hanzi Jonina Mama, welcome mukoma Nyasha. Thank you for co-hosting us today. Thank you. And then Shkanzina Uncle Julius, vikapa mahat alikufara. Thank you mukoma wangu for jumping in. Hanzina Uncle Shepherd, keep the good works. Thank you so much Uncle Shepherd for that. Please tukudama comments and you please don't hesitate to get in. Saka kwatopindana mama hanzi, the older you get, the more exorbitant monthly premiums are quoted. Saka mukoma wangu, that's a very true point because I'll give an example of myself. Mazano ma quotation andiri kupiwa, they're a bit more pricier than if I had taken this policy, like double or even triple if I had taken it when I was in my 20s. Can you tell us mongoti pao motirumadzeve mongoti rairawo kuti what can we do for young people and for the older people like Ana Mama?
Right, Mazita. Sure. My insurance is anaweka kuti the younger you are, the cheaper the premiums that you get. So, the risks involved, whether they kurwara, kana kuti the likelihood of death in terms of ill health, there is so much reduced. For example, someone who's below 30, you are still in your prime, you're running around, you are still being adventurous. The risks, the repo at that time, is not considered very, very low. And when you take a policy at 25, for example, with your low premium, tinema guaranteed premiums, when from 25 will be the same premium I will pay for almost for the entirety of the policy. So you find, if you take it young, you will continue paying that small, low amount for the entire length of the policy. The length of the policy is entirely up to you. From 25, you can take a policy which will take you up to 75 years, or you take a policy which will take you up to 80 years, depending on the different companies. But kana wakura mind, ndokonzanga kuona kuti wana wadiga vazive kuti chonzi BP, vamwe wana wadiga vazive kuti chonzi diabetes. All the other ailments dzinotanga kusimuka ne-age. So the moment these things start happening, the risks are now higher. So the higher the age, the higher the risk, the higher the premium. So zvataurwa namama ako kuti paunozoitsvaga wachichiti kure, aiwa sure vanokudza kuti sure tinogona kukutora, we will take the risk away from you, but apa ndo pawakubhadhara. And ukamirira futi wazone tumwe tumadiagnosis twakawanda zvinoaffecta futi kuti premium yako inenge yaasei nekuti zvaane risk mukati.
Yeah. Aiwa, that's a very good answer. Matoti Batsira. Auntie Elizabeth, thank you so much for tagging someone else to come and join. We appreciate that. Auntie V, Hansi, hello, Auntie V, you're welcome. Hansi, has the speaker frozen, or is it my device? I think it's your device, Mom. And then Uncle Shepherd, Hansi, I think the problem with our people is we depend from, I think I'm going to put hand to mouth. The money is not even enough to cover up your monthly budget. So worse is to think of the future. Mkoma wangu munoti chine statement iroro.
Here it's a very common statement that I come across. Asi ndingo expand a bit. Kune zvinhu zvatino consider so important. Mazuano ukabata phone yemunhu. Unofanira wabata chikwama chababa kare. And you find kuti nekuva advanced kwakuita mafoni edu, a lot of things are involved pafoni. And munhu paanotora contract yefoni unonzwa achiti aiwa ibva yamaisa insurance pamusoro. Why? Because uri kutya kuti foni ikadonha ikarasika ndobva ndaduza zvinhu zvangu. We never start to think, and the amount that you pay for your phone insurance may probably insure yourself for 50, maybe 80, maybe 100,000 when you are gone. But it's not particular material things that no go on and go and not start to think, all right, ndinewana saka kana ndisisipo, what is going to happen? But before aiwa ndinogona kubhadhara ndaisekesa mwe munhu ndikati chizombotarisa kuti pagore how much do you pay for your phone? Ndozviya zvataiti kare insurance vanhu vaifamba nemota isina insurance. Asi dai usi mutemo wemapurisa kutya kusungwa nemapoints tinogona kufamba mota isina insurance. But how many accidents do you see? And so you find kuti tinofunga material things chete, but upenyu hwedu hatinyanyokoshese when it comes to insurances.
Ndinongodawo kututsira ipapo mkoma wangu. I'm going to give a practical to myself. This is real life ndawana. Inini ku UK ndine mwana and ndinopiwa ma benefits £21 every month for him. Policy yangu is just over that £21. Ini ndopiwa £21 per week. Iye insurance yangu ichandipa at least 200,000 or ichapa matipa at least 200,000 kana ndashaya ingori £22 per month. Saka per week ya child benefit yandopiwa ndinongoikanda kupi ku policy yaya, and that's for mati. No one plans to die. Apana inini mkoma wangu mkandibvunza izvosoti ndawana unofunga kuti uchafarini, andizivi. Mwari ndiye chete anoziya, but chandoziya ndechekuti musi wandinoshedzwa natenzi wangu, my son has got his stepping stone. So really, if people can insure their phones or pay line rental yema £50 kuti uve the latest iPhone, but you're not covering yourself for your future generation, then we need to reevaluate our financial priorities so that you put what's important first. Koma wangu rega ndimboverenga mamwe ma comments tisati tadzoka pano nemibvunzo yedu. Hansi, hello pano na Uncle Simba Clive Msika. Hello Uncle, thank you for joining. Zviganzi, welcome. And na Auntie Leonda, what did I miss? Hi Auntie Leonda, welcome to the session. Today we have Uncle Nyasha Mapfeka here. He's an advisor and he's just giving us some tips and about taking out the important policies, whether it's will, a business cover, your personal cover. So this is what we're going through. So as he goes along, please make sure you throw in your questions and he'll be more than happy to answer them. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Zvikanzi na antinetsai tipindewo aiwa pinda. Antapindawo, yes, pindai please. Hanzi na mama, please let us know how older people can leave something for their offspring. Because honestly, paying £45 per month at death for your family to benefit only 45k because of your age sounds miserable. Uncle Nyasha, munoti chine statement ya mama yoyo.
Right. Chinoitika ndechekuti depending nekuti pane mamwe situations that are existing. Again, policies are as individual as we are. So what we tend to do is tinogara pasi mama toona kuti pane zvakakutenderedzai, be it financial situation, how much would it be that will be sufficient, and also for me ndinotarisa kuti tinoda kustretcha vanhu vakurarama even after retirement to 80, 85, 90. So you then find kuti kune vamwe vakatora zvakaita policy yamuri kutaura, but pamwe yakangoitwa kuti isvike paretirement 65 and it stops. So toda kutarisa kuti zvii zviri around zvakakutenderedzai zvinoita kuti tiwane the best policy possible. Kune mamwe yekuti vanongoadvertisa online, we have policy £5, we have policy £10, but they will not tell you kuti policy yatiri kuadvertisa ndeyemuna 25 years. Asi ukaona manje unongoti kuna aya £5, kuna aya £10. Each policy is as individual. Hakuna policy inenge yekuti unongoenda magrosa onoti iyi ndo yakafanana nemunhu wese. No, it's all as per individual. So tinogara pasi, which is one thing that I do go around up and down the country. Togara pasi toonesana kuti mamiriro azvakaita zviri sei, ndezvipi zviri best. Muri kuda kuti kusare mari, mukati 40,000 ishoma tosvika pamari, zvinokukostai mari, makambani mangani anogona kukutorai. So all those things are variables atinotarisa, then imimi mochita decision yekuti izvi ndo zviri right izvi, then we work with that through recommendations. Isu chatinoita chandinongoita kukubatsirai nekukuverengerai the small print and explain some of the exclusions that come with it. Pamwe muri kuti 40k chete, pamwe ine macondition ayo. Maybe inofanira kuti munhu ashaika neaccident only. If it's not an accident, corona akasanyora verdict yekuti accident, pamwe hapana chinouya. So you have to understand kuti what is it zviri papolicy zvinoita kuti iwe relevant when the time comes. So ndo mubvapindura ndikaite mamunda wa.
Maita basa Koma Nyasha ne that explanation, and Maita basa mama ne that question. It's a very valid question. Hansi, hi guys, na South Orders. Hi South Orders, thank you for joining. Pane Pano Nasi. Nasi, we are talking about different policies, covers, wills, everything. Koma Nyasha is here. If you've got questions to do with policies and covers, here is your time. And his phone number is on the screen. Chandirudango encourage abantu bese, contact Mr. Mapfeka. His number is on the screen for a quote, a no obligation quote. You will not be forced to take a policy, but the good thing, the benefit is Mr. Mapfeka will explain in detail. As he said, a policy is suited to you. Saka, he will understand Kutindawana's policy will be different from Prophet Brian's policy, will be different from Isha Good's policy, will be different from even Mama's policy. It's not just your £5 ya tawana mkoma wangu. So I really want to just encourage people, please WhatsApp Mr. Mapfeka. Mungo piwa quotation. Amufan kutora policy kana mchuona kuta muskujigona. Answer Jonina Uncle Isha Goods. My policy multiplied by 3 because I added critical cover. Mapfeka, can you please expand or answer Mr. Isha Goods with this question?
Thank you very much. Right. Critical illness is a separate cover which considers a lot of things. Consider your previous medical history. Consider kuti munaitwa ma medical checkups mangani uye makapedzera kuitwa rini. So there is a lot that it considers, because kana tiri kuti critical illness tiri kureva kuti illnesses that alter your lifestyle completely. Kune makambani akasiyana-siyana, but the minimum I know is 27 different conditions. That's one of the companies is called the minimum conditions. Some companies have 34, some have 36 different conditions that they list down. Kuti, for example, ukanzi mangwana wadiagnosed ne-cancer or waita a stroke. These are some of the things that they immediately cover. So for them, it considers the age as well. So ukachitarisa kuti statistics dzinoti between 40 and 50, what are the percentages? You're looking at almost 60%, a number of men or women between 40 and 60 who are diagnosed with cancer. So you find kuti ukapinda bracket iroro, the risk is higher, so your premium is obviously goes higher. So zvakaita kuti ite 3 times is a lot of factors that come into effect. Zvakafanana nesu vamwe takati simbei. If my BMI is higher, some companies will even say, no, they can't take you. Some companies will say, okay, tinokutora, asi kana takutora, this is the premium. So you find with kotwa uchiri usina nyanyosimbako is much, much lower. But also in the mind, what you with their weight, you find the quotation will triple. So critical illness is very particular about your existing health condition.
Is COVID covered per critical? Patangatina COVID yaitika now jatova nani, but COVID is covered here as a critical illness.
COVID is not listed under critical illness.
Okay.
Yeah. They are on all the ones that I've looked at. COVID is not. COVID is treated just like any other illness that stops you from going to work. If you've got an income protection that is in place, yes, that's what you have paid because you are fallen ill. Depends tanga after how long. Then income protection. But it's yes, it will be covered, but not under critical illness. It is covered under income protection where sickness is considered.
Wow. Ndudakuzo is a flyer and you teach go through all the things that you cover. But tisatita is a flyer and you mkoma wangu. I just want to tell some people kuti chicha kandita otinditore cover inini. Kubasa kwedu, like most companies in the UK, can already permanent staff member, you are covered as long as you work for that company. So the day you stop working for that company, you are not covered. So I remember ndakasangana neshamwari yangu ndiye akatondiita kuti ndiite I am a policy. Zvikanzi, do you love your son? Ndikati, with all my heart. Unenge utori confident ndikashitaura neyo whole chest mukoma wangu kuti yes, I love my child, I'll die for my child, hapana chandisingaitiri mwana wangu, ndoshandira mwana wangu. Zvikanzi une policy, ndikati yekubasa. Zvikanzi ukarisiya kubasa kwauri izvozvi, so whether waitwa redundant, you'll be as good as no cover. Saka ngatingotiyo you're not covered. Do you love your son? Ndikati, more than anything. Zvikanzi, no, you don't. Ndakabatikana mukoma wangu. Ndikati, how can you say this? Zvikanzi, no, because if you loved your child, musi waunofa uda kuti ave ne stepping stone in life. You want him to start with something. Now, if you die and you haven't left him with anything, you are making his life so much harder. And with inflation going up, he's gonna, if you are struggling to get on the property ladder, he's gonna struggle 3, 4, 5 times harder because things always increase in price. Just get a quote. That's all. Saka refer kuna somebody ndikapiwa quote and munhu wachona aitoshanda kucompany inoshanda mukoma wangu iyo enisho, and they explained everything to me. They used the company that's reputable in UK. It is covered by FCA. It is covered ne inonzi chiya ya mukoma wangu where company kaita going to administration isusu tinenge tine protection from the government.
Yeah, there's a government protection scheme. Yes. Government
protection, yeah. So that's when I really thought, I can't be opening my mouth and shit, I love my son, if I don't protect myself. If anything happens, he will not be left with anything. So I want my son to have an advantage in life, even though I might not be here for him to see him through. Anyway, come on, flyer renyu muchititaurira everything that is covered on them. Muri kuona flyer renyu?
Let me just put it up on my other status as well so that I can see it clearly. There's so much covered on there. It's also the same things which are listed on the poster behind me here. Yeah. So we also use that. Yes. Let's start with, can I quickly see this? Right. Good. I'll start off with the mortgages. Mortgages, we not only just cover mortgage payments, we also are able to underwrite mortgages, which means we are also able to give you mortgages. A division in the company, which is the commercial side, is able to even sort out the whole mortgage from start to end. Even if you need for conveyancing, for the solicitors that will help you to do that, all that is included in the pack. They will go through what is it that you want and will be able to provide that service as well. Income protection, like I said earlier on, kana uchishanda, whether you are self-employed or you are full-time employed, to know kwanisa kuinsure your salary, which means for any reason that your salary stops, this policy comes into place. Zvakafanana nekuti kune yatinoti day one, kuti ukasaenda kubasa, especially for vanhu vanoshanda ma-contracts kana kuti vanoshanda self-employed, ukangosina kwanisa kuenda kubasa, you can be covered depending nekuti kuda kucover to how much. So that's where we are on income protection. Kune vamwe vane mabasa anobhadhara mari for probably 13 weeks, vamwe vanopiwa 26 weeks full salary before yazodzika. I'm looking at NHS because sometimes you can take income protection. That is in the event yekuti after the 13 weeks ausisina salary. So then it kicks in. So it's all as individual, like I said, how much you want and when it should be able to kick into place. Life insurance, chinokava nekuti when you are gone, this is the part where you are not necessarily the beneficiary, but those who remain behind will benefit from life insurance. So tikutarisira kuti in the event Nyasha asisipo, wana wangu vanosara vachipiwe chii, tapedza taimba Mwari fambai naye tamufushira, then what? This is where life insurance comes in. Chakanakira pa life insurance yedu ndechekuti if kana ndine policy 100,000, musi wandinofa, message goes to the insurance company immediately. As long as wango policy yakenge iri life, they will pay a minimum of 10,000. Yekuti vanhu vashandise panhau. Then after mapedza zvese mozodzoka mochichiti tapedza zvimwe zvese, you are given a consultant, mochichipiwa the 90,000 remaining. So kind of it includes the funeral side and also the money after. Chochichienda pane the next one, which is private medical insurance. Munoziva kuti maqueue NHS akakura sei, kuno vanoziva the waiting time. Uda kuitwa scanning, uda kuitwa anything, how long it's taking for you to get an appointment. So with private medical insurance, you have private hospitals, unit centers that are able to take care of you when you need them. And these cover from individual to also the whole family. Home and contents. Tinoziva kuti whether uri kurenta kana kuti une mortgage yako, you need home insurance. You need contents insurance. Kana uchinge uri wekuti wakatenga kana kuti uri kutenga, you need the building insurance as well. Ndange ndiri panze ndabwedza kuda kuenda panze nhasi. Not a good idea, not advisable. Izvi neizvi muti ukadonha panze apo ukasvokopwanya imba yangu, who covers for that? Who is going to repair that? What am I going to do? Pakasimudzwa bhini murodhi, roya rosvokopwanya girazi remba yangu, who is going to cover that? Vamwe vakutanga kutofunga kuti zvatoitika kwedu, but anyway, as long as we're in a policy which is building and contents cover, you are able to be covered for that as well. That's where it comes building and contents. Sports insurance. Tine wanotamba ma sports akasiyana siyana, where bones can be broken, where different sporting injuries can occur. We have sporting insurances that cover that. And these are, it's all, like I said, it's all to individual. Wana machipone ngoshambo bora munhu ochikoka bonzo, how are they covered? There are so many that cover. Whether you are playing professionally or not, as long as Uchimbo Tambama sports, you can take sports insurance as well. Business insurance, munoziva kuti munyika munomu kune zvakawanda ma-liabilities anoitwa nemabusiness atinoita, whether uri kushanda nevanhu, uri kushanda nezvinhu, uri kudriver, you need to be covered. You need to have to transfer the risk to someone else in case anything happens. Unoda kuti zvakafanana nepandire zvinezvi, I'm fully insured, I'm covered to do what I do. Not only just to give advice, but there is that cover as well. Even pandire mamwe mabasa emaoko, I need to be covered. Kuitira kuti ndikavhiringidza pandiri kushanda, someone else is able to take that risk away from me. Business loans, yes, linked to different finance houses, tinokwanisa kupa ma-loans depending nekuti business amuri kuita rakamira sei, munoita go through zvinodiwa, and loans are available at reasonable, I would say, reasonable interest rates as well for small or big businesses. The criteria is there, and munhu anoita go through zvese zviripo. Kuzoya wane mota dzakati wandei for basa, zvekuti pamwe mune mavhani akawanda, pamwe mune mota dzakawanda for care work, or in a company name, we are also able to cover in terms of motor, trucks, and fleet insurance. Those are covered on that as well. Now, the company group insurance. So, we can also provide insurance for such companies, for a group. And not only company. Choti mune association yenyu iri written, written. Yamakaita, we can also cover the whole group through a single premium that is paid from the group accounts. So it can, as long as the articles of association, Magaita come together, in what form you will be able to be covered under company group insurance. We've got public and employee liabilities, and that's how we cover if there is anything that professionally you've done. Cosmetic surgery. Saka gadzira panodiwa cover yakati simbe in case something goes wrong. So such things as well can be covered. Why wanodila one face to face directly? You need that public liability. You need to have someone who takes care of that risk as well. Professional indemnity, sure. Professions, there is a list of professions that we cover. We don't cover just all of them. There are certain professions that we cover under professional indemnity. Private pensions, yes, takawanda tama self-employed, but atiskumbofunga kuti Ramangwana kupension ndachikure ndisagone kuenda kubasa kana kurana shift kana kurana agency yangu ndozoita sei. So we also are able to put together private pensions for 1, 2, or 5 employees in the company. We can put together the pensions as well. Funeral plans. Funeral plan in the life policy, where you are insured or you pay your services, the funeral plan, ahead of time. You can spread the cost. This is the total lump sum that your funeral cost. You pay it today and put your certificate aside. Even over 20 years later, your funeral is already paid today. Or what you spread my costs over the next 3 years, over 5 years, over 10 years. but still ukafa 20 years later wapedza kubhadhara plan yako, it still is in place, and the services that you have paid for will still be provided for your funeral. This is chinenge chichiitika muno muUK. Yekupedzesera ndeye wills and estate planning. Sure, kunyangwe kumusha maingonzwa munhu achibvunzwa kunzi wangu waine wini here, taakurwisana manje zvino izvi ndezvani, vari kuti aiwa mukadzi wacho ngaabude mumusha, uyo vari kuti aiwa akazoona ari uripo. Legally you can be able to be covered zvisina zvinonetsa, nekuti munogara pasi pamwe baba naamai kana udhiyo hako uri wega, wonyora pasi zvauri kuda kuti zvizoitika kana uino maassets auinawo, kwakuchinyora kuti ndoda kuti iPhone 13 yangu izopiwa ngoma ningi, ndoda kuti bhutsi dzangu dzeelephant skin dzizopiwa bamudiki ningi, ndoda kuti motikari yangu izopiwa mwana wangu ningi. You write down what you want to happen in the event yekuti hausisipo. Ningati in all, that's pretty much what we cover. So it's quite a big range. Like I said, we've got different departments that cover some of the products that I've mentioned there, but most of these, I've got, I'm FCA regulated to give advice on some of these, not all of them. So department will help you, and the qualified personnel will then be in touch with you and sort out what it is that you need. Thank you so much.
Wow. Mazvionera, mazvinzwira, maita basa mukoma wangu. That was so good. That is so detailed. Ndatodzidza more kuti pane difference between income cover ne critical cover. Ndadzidza kuti is it life insurance mukoma wangu ndikati dinasi vanoudzwa kuti ndawana has passed away, ndotobuditsirwa ka small money kanogona kushandiswa towards my funeral. Ndatodzidzawo kuti munoitawo ma-funeral covers. But I think we need you to come back mukoma wangu mombotaura about wills. Our community does not do wills, and I will invite you back to talk us into more detail about wills, but I'm conscious of time. So let me read the comments, because this show is about the people. We are here for them. Saka chatanganya the earliest comments. Ranzi, I saw an advert, Yema £7 per month, Kosara 200K. But when I contacted them and we went through questionnaire, I was flabbergasted. They are just the ones who ended up with above quotation. Rikanzi, I would pay until I'm 89, if I remember well. Thank you for explaining. So I think ipapo ndo pamange mambo explainer kuti just because waiona pa flyer or pa TV, when you now talk to them, unozona kuti zvinenge zvakasiyana.
True, very true. Akawanda they could you come in.
Yeah, ingofona and they can also phone it takuzokuudza tumwe tunhu twekuita go along. Zvikanzi Shumba Kadzi, this is an awesome session. Thank you for the community service. Zvikanzi Dewa, nice one. Mkoma Nyasha, thanks Ndawana and friends. Zvikanzi Mama, how often is it that a policy claim gets rejected at the point when the member has died? That's a very good question. Mkoma wangu. Chingaita kuti policy if reject, and how often does that happen once somebody has died?
Right, according to statistics, it's probably only 2% when that happens. Chinoita kuti policy life irambirwe ndechekuti at the insertion, at the point payakatorwa pane information inenge yakasirirwa. So pavanozochita akuclaima, they then go back and look at the records. Ona kuti patakatorerwa policy, the medical questionnaires were not completed truthfully. So that's one aspect inoita kuti policy life irambirwe. But kazhinji now, when we have gone through your medicals, because most policies, especially wanotora nemamwe like the critical income protection, we will go through the medicals as well. So akakuti tapedza ma medicals, this is your policy. That means they've considered everything. That used to happen kudhara wasati wakuita compulsory medicals. And But yes, Tanema providers are quita without even the need of medicals.
Okay.
But one is kept in their documents or in the exclusions. One is our single included. Some will say it no cover accidental death only.
Yes.
Normal, they will not cover. So one will go to cover, so and they will limit how much they can pay out.
Ah, very powerful. Thank you very much. Jiganzina, my young sister. Hi. Akomandawana. Hi, Miracle, my boys. Thank you for joining. Jiganzina, Mama. Is the funeral policy transferable? Say you have paid up fully here in UK, then because life is unpredictable, you end up relocating back home, say 40 years from now, will all that money have gone to waste? That's a very good question, Mkoma wangu.
Very good question. Right. Funeral policy, i.e. funeral plan. And they say that the policy holders, they only pay for the services.
Okay.
So mukange machienda ku Zimbabwe, muchakwanise ku access the service that you paid for. So when you pay for the funeral plan, it only covers you when you are in the UK.
Right.
Make sense? Saka ukachienda then unoita pass away uri kuku. Zvavanokwanisa kuita hazvirevo kuti havakwanise kukutora wouya kuika kuno. They can do that, but the services that they will be providing will only do uri mu UK. But yes, kana uine plan, there is that also extension a worldwide cover. It's just an extra premium, but you can add a worldwide cover without it. Ukashakira uri anywhere, they will bring your body and provide the services in the UK.
Ah, fantastic. Thank you so much. Margins with Mega. Absolutely correct. We need more education on wills. Saka mkomo wangu tichataurira na mumadayari kuti tiziye kuti munogona rini kuuya motidzidzisa about wills, because inini andidi kunyeba andina will, but ndine ma cell phone, ndine ma iPad, ndoda kuti vanhu vanyasoziva kuti ari kuwana bhutsu dzangu dze-elephant skin ndiani, ari kuwana iPad yangu ndiani. Saka I need you to come, not only educate your young sister, but educate our audience. Hi, Auntie Sarah. Hansi, beautiful program. Dawana, thank you so much. Tinok Tendai. And the Uncle Isha Goods, much appreciated. This has been an eye-opener, and please do this more. And yes, wills are not done. We always postpone doing them. By the way, I've been verengaring. Nyasha, we need you to come back. And thank you so much for explaining about... Yeah, go on, come on. Hey.
Online. You can simply access some of them online. We can provide you with a link for a very reasonable fee, and with an extra £10, you can change it as and when you need. Online. It is so concrete, can be challenged by anyone. Whereas a traditional, which is done through the solicitor, and it's recorded and stored away, that one is safe because it is done in the traditional way. One of the very few documents that you cannot sign electronically, you have to put ink to paper, is the traditional will.
Right.
So and they are available as well.
My wills are shown aya. Kokana tongoti munu audience yedu vari South Africa or vari Zimbabwe vechida kuita will, would you be able to advise them about where to go or how to go about it, or what is it? Because I think once they have the knowledge, they want to act on it, but they just don't know where to go.
Thank you. For starters, anyone in the UK who needs to get their will done, I'll be more than happy. Contact me on the number provided. Anyone else in any other country, make sure you get legal advice in that particular country. It is advisable you have a will for each of the countries where you have your properties.
Fantastic.
Unogona kuita hako uri mu UK uchinyora ma properties eku Zimbabwe, but zvine risk nekuti these are two different judicial areas. Kune mitemo yakasiyana inokuti ma estates eku Zimbabwe nekuno. So you are advised kuti chawiwe mu UK or chawiwe ku Zimbabwe.
Brilliant. I think Mama just asked a question. Hansi, what if you don't have a family solicitor? Do you pick any random solicitor to write up your will?
We can recommend some, or yes, you can pick those who do wills. I advise as well, go and get someone who is qualified, make sure, and also check they are certified with the Wills Writers Consortium. There is a board, so they have to be registered with that board as well. I'm going to wait to one SOS.
All right. Saka Hansi, thank you very much for explaining about funeral plan. Hansi na hits me Skat. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Hansi, that's my brother right there. Ah, thank you. He's my brother as well.
We are my sister. We are my
Exactly. And I am just joining. Can you please summarize a bit? Oh, thank you so much for joining. Well, Nyasha was just taking us through the different product range that is available. I'll put the flyer up, and I'm just encouraging everybody just to get in touch with Mr. Mapfeka to get a quotation, you know, about what it is. It's a no obligation quotation. You're not obliged to take a policy that you're not happy with, but it will be good to just hear him out and he can advise you accordingly. Because as Mr. Mapfeka said, a policy is tailor-made to your needs. What I need on my policy is not the same as what you would need, my sister, is not the same as what my big brothers here would need. Saka, I just want to plead with everybody, get in touch with Mr. Mapfeka. The phone number is on the screen there, and hear what he's got to say about you, especially if you're in the UK where he is regulated and can give you the relevant advice. Come on, comments here. Andy, thank you so much. This is important. Iowa, thank you for giving us that platform to just help our community out. Ngomong, I just wanted to ask you one more thing, Kutujoni. Kana munu afa anditika or aita pass away. How quick or how slow is it before they get a payout or their family get a payout?
What usually determines is the coroner's verdict. Yeah. So as soon as pretty much you get that verdict or that certificate from the coroner's office, that is what you then present. If you have an advisor or whoever provided, you can contact the advisor, they will help you. For example, anyone I've written a policy for, I can then assist them with the company where their policy is held. If not, you, as soon as that happens, if there are any documents that are there, just ring them up. You provide, obviously provide the date of birth, the date of death as well, and the certificate, the certificate number. Then that will be, they will only check who is the beneficiary, and that payout will immediately come to the people who are named on that particular policy.
Cool. And
if there's no one who is pretty much named or at that time, they will look at the next of kin. So at the time the person passes away, there is the person who's going to do all the paperwork as the next of kin. They will be the person that is likely to receive that particular payout.
So if I've got a policy, do I need a will as well? Would you recommend it? What is your professional and personal position about my question?
Right. When you have a policy, it is as good as you've got a lump sum of money somewhere.
Right.
So when you then, you need to include that pot in your will. So when you write your will, you will mention the policy numbers, you will mention the company that holds, even the contact details. So when people look at your will, we're not going to maybe pamafonera mangona one, mova mafonera, let's say une Aviva or une Royal London. Mofonera you everything goes through for the funeral yapera. But masu charisa we woman, mona but okay, munanga ine manga ma policy 5.
Yes.
So policies are part of your estate, are part of your assets or your legacy, or which is going to be inherited. So on a will, include all your policies.
Okay.
And then, so the
Yeah.
two are equally important, because let's say a partner will policy iripo pamwanga 3, he might have access to 1. You will
Yeah.
not know if there were other policies that existed. So munogona kungo benefit from one and not the other. And bear in mind, it's at the point of contact. You have to contact the insurance company for them to know awangofembereka ngoti munhu uyaya akaita sei akazofa. They need someone to contact them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had one more question, but the questions are firing up here as well. But I'm conscious of time. My last question, and I'll read one more question here. What is the maximum? I don't know. Is it accrued or accumulation I can have? How much is the maximum I can be covered? What is the can I be covered for up to 10 million, 1 billion? What is my maximum cover in UK?
Right. In the UK, an individual can be insured up to £1 million.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be one policy. So if we have 2, 3, 4, the total should not exceed 1 million.
Okay. Fantastic. Awa, thank you. And then Rikanzi, if a person dies without a will, what is the main disadvantage? And that's our last question.
Yeah, okay. If a person dies without a will with assets, all the assets are taken into or are frozen by the government into a process called the probate.
Right.
Next of kin, you have to prove yourself through the courts. Then kana mazoprova kuti ndimi rightful beneficiaries, the money is then released to you, or the assets are released to you. If no one is found, the probate will sell off the assets if there is any credit. Vanongotengesa imba kana yange iri worth 200,000 kwasara 50,000, vanongoitengesa imba 50,000 and pay the bank, and that's it.
Wow. Wow. Nyasha, I just want to take this time to say thank you, Maitabasa, Matipa, so much knowledge. Comment section, mangemchifaya, ndudakukutendai, kuti mauya, you never let me down. Thank you so, so much. Nyasha, as I said, I think we need you to come back and talk about wills, because mu community medu at least with our wills, and tudakuona kuti is it an easy process, or what can we do? But for now, do you have any more closing remarks?
Thank you so much for this opportunity and the platform. My wish is to get this message to everyone that you lose nothing, instead you gain everything, to leave a legacy. When you start thinking about the next generation, now you've matured. So let's start thinking about those who are coming after us. Death is certain, death is real. Let's not shy away from it, but let us plan like wise people do. But ultimately, if you need to have a chat, even to review your policy, the one that you have in place, is it still serving the purpose? I'm more than happy to go through that. Thank you so much for having me on the platform. Amazing show. Thanks so much for having me around.
Thank you so much. Teacher set a date, but for now, audience, God bless you. Thank you so much. Share this broadcast so that others will learn. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.